The story of Donald Trump getting on a catering truck from Air Force One and then going on to a smaller airplane to leave Turkey is astonishing enough. It's scary that there was this kind of a threat. But one of the elements of this incredible story has kind of been tempered for some reason. I spoke to a couple of people involved in this story, and I am not sure at all why it's been tempered. I'm told there were more than a dozen members of the White House pool, reporters, along with a handful of White House staff and military personnel, in addition to these uniformed flight attendants, who were on the old Air Force One. And for some reason, they allowed that airplane to take off and fly to London through Turkish airspace when presumably there was a severe security threat such that Donald Trump could not take that state-of-the-art airplane to London. That's just unbelievable that if there was this kind of a threat, why would they let that airplane fly, Air Force One? Because the idea of putting Trump in the catering truck and then getting him onto another aircraft, well, what they were trying to show was that for all intents and purposes, people would believe Trump was still on the old Air Force One. And if he was still on the old Air Force One and there was a security threat targeting that aircraft, the Iranians would have believed that Trump was on Air Force One. That was the whole point. And yet he wasn't, but these unsuspecting reporters, White House staff, and military personnel were on that plane and they flew. I asked somebody who was involved in the story, why wouldn't they fake a mechanical problem and wait until Donald Trump was able to get through that area and get into safe airspace and then declare what happened? And they had no idea why that didn't happen. But the idea that these unsuspecting reporters and others, White House staff, just didn't know is pretty remarkable. And, the other thing that's kind of interesting is that they almost always have some reporter on planes that the president flies to chronicle anything that might happen. From everything we're hearing, that didn't happen here. When Donald Trump went to another aircraft, as far as we can tell, there was no other reporter on that plane. But the big thing that they just have not answered is, why would you allow the old Air Force One to take off if there was that kind of imminent danger?